Hey guys, it's your buddy Icarus. I got about a half hour before I gotta go get Kisa from work, so I could spend that time browsing the internet, checking Facebook, or playing more Amnesia for you guys. Well, sure he's not gonna see anything too scary, mainly because I'm pretty good at avoiding the danger. He's trying to hand me a controller. No, this game's controlled with the computer. Yeah, I know. I noticed I noticed for you guys in the last video that the game can be controlled by a Xbox controller, but I hate the controls.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me.
Well, this is still.
When I
I'm
asked
gonna
him
close the
about
door so he
tomb
can come back in.
he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way. Okay, so he might jump if he's even visible to the camera over here.
Tomorrow,
I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Okay, so that note established that our character Daniel here, who's writing these things, he's an archaeologist. And was on a dig in the middle of Algeria with someone named Professor Herbert, and you can't have noise in here right now, Bobby. You either gotta have the volume off or not have it on in here. Thank you. No, volume down or not in here, Bobby. You can't have other sounds in the background. Especially because he's a little too young to explain copyright to, and for all I know, he might watch something with copyrighted content. Okay, and Daniel's sanity slipping. As I was saying, so he was on a dig somewhere in Algeria, in a location he described as vast plains of nothingness. So, essentially, the game's doing a good job of giving us known environments without telling us anything specific to try and, well, without telling us anything specific enough to inspire the more adventurous and or stupid of among gamers to go and explore these sites of themselves, thinking it might be real.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage
no noise in here.
Confused me.
Goober, no noise in here.
It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Okay, I may actually have to scrap this video and just try re-recording it another time when I don't have a visitor constantly popping in. I really don't mind the interruptions, and some of them can be funny enough to warrant to actually make the video possibly more watchable. I don't know. But at the same time, he is not dissuaded by the fact that I told him to turn down the volume on whatever he decides he wants to watch if he wants to be in here. In fact, he's more or less just not listening. He keeps coming back with the volume on high. I think he's watching Nerf Wars channels on YouTube, which that is something that his parents and well, actually, his parents haven't voiced any kind of complaint with it. Uh-oh, a locked door! But Darth Ma, you know, the grandma figure of the, well, fine piano. She's been trying to get him more interested in things like my channel, where I'm not playing violent games per se. I mean, yeah, we play games where you shoot things, but it's not showing you shooting people. It's not showing violence against other humans. And if I ever play that kind of stuff on the channel, I'm probably not going to play that stuff on my channel, to be honest, but if I do, I'll probably flag it age restricted, even if the game is rated for teens or even rated as kid friendly, because no one I know my sanity's dangerously low. How fantastic is that? No one I know really condones that kind of stuff for children, except for the parents of the well, my brother, one of the parents of the Goober, who keeps walking in here. And me, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it, but at the same time, I don't see it as right either. It's kind of a gray area where we're gonna get back into focusing on the game here instead of talking about my family issues. Sorry.
17th of May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
And here is the mystic light.
I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
See, okay, here's a point where Icarus is dumb. I always thought of Algeria not as before playing this game and hearing him mention Arabs, I thought Algeria was more over like Soviet Union-esque country instead of Middle Eastern Arabic country. It shows how well I knew geography. Now, as for the family-related distractions, you know, Goober constantly walking in, if he keeps that up, I mean, if you guys are upset by it, I apologize. And I can try to record only when he's not here, but to be perfectly honest, we babysit often enough that if I recorded only when there were not children here, you'd get maybe a video every week, maybe possibly waiting as long as every 2.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Alright, so that tells us the castle is in poor condition already. And here we see actually maps that I think are helpful later that I just didn't keep in mind, but I bumbled my way through. What we really want to focus on for now is breaking that wall. Because we're on the back side of a room we wanted into before.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Yeah, you can move during the flashbacks. I may have forgotten to mention that, but... Brucia! Ah! Okay, another letter. Okay, this one's not going to read. I can actually read it because it's not going to read it for me. Alstadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Alstadt. Deep within the eastern Prussian woods, for centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighboring castle, Brennenburg. The quiet, forest-clad mountains, dressed with scattered lakes, is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you'll hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as an exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. The story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside burlap sacks, dragged around behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Alstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all of the prominent members of the society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day, he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Alstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? Agrippa, I didn't remember that he was mentioned this early in the game, but what I was thinking of is a spoiler for later. It involved the 3 endings that I told you about before. But yeah. Now, the immortal Baron of Brennenburg. The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Alstadt, and like most of those of noble birth, rumors are inherent alongside the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman of the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remain popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle along with the great leaders of this country. Okay, so there are things that I saw but didn't commit to memory at this point. that are surprising even me about this game. And it's actually kind of neat. No, Candle, I am not lighting you. I made a promise that is probably better left unkept. It's locked from... There we go. Now, got that. There's light behind this one. Must be a way. Well, we saw these strange silver books that pulled themselves back in. Why wonder? A puzzle, perhaps? Yeah, it is. See, I forget some of the flavor information about Agrippa and about Alexander and about that Algerian dig. But for whatever reason, I hold on to the knowledge just of how to get through. And here we have a key. And another note. Good. Another one I get to read. Regarding closing of the wine cellar, Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brennenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave, or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I'll feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both of my problems. Alexander's into some shifty things, is he not? Key sensors are tingling! Key sensors. Doo-doo. This is how you evade monsters, by the way, in this game. You hide. You run. You hide. You check that everything's on the clear. And then you continue. Because otherwise you put yourself in undue amounts of danger. Let's get back to the room with some light, since I promised I wouldn't light anything. And I don't want my... Ooh! But that's the way I gotta go. Unless I take this way back. It won't budge. I can't take this way back. So, following the monster it is. First monster we meet in the game. See, I remember where they are up to the point where I chickened out, and some of them still get me. That first one now. Okay, some of these sounds make me feel a little uneasy, but so let's get past here. Ow, ow, something stabbed me. I do not know how these fleshy globules make slashing sounding wounds on you. It would seem to me more like it would grab you by the ankle, pull you down, and make you fall than anything. But now we're going down to the wine cellar because they gave us the key. But that's where I'm going to end this episode off. Next to Mom, she's his grandma, but she's our Darth Mom. But yeah, she'd rather see the grandkids here than in a childcare area, which is now the name is slipping me, like just having a teenager babysit them or going to daycare. That's the word I was looking for. So we do see a lot of him and his siblings. Well, not so much of his siblings because they're old enough that they're usually going to school at the time when we were babysitting him. But we're also we see a decent amount of Shay and my other nieces and nephews. Basically, there's pretty much kids here at almost all times. So if I did hold off and not record at all unless we had no kids, then you'd see very rare uploads from me. As is, I try to just take short bursts to record, hoping the kids won't come and intrude, and just trying to play it off if they do, which you saw in this video, and will likely see in future videos. If you guys don't like seeing that and would prefer to see fewer uploads, but nonetheless see them completely clean without interruptions, I can try to manage that. For now, Icarus is out. Bye.